Hey YouTube, Girsu here. Today I'm going to be profiling an update for my Orcust deck profile. This is one of the videos on my channel so far that has gotten the most views and the most likes, more or less. And this is also, like I told you guys before, this is my favorite deck right now, and has been for quite some time. At least when it comes to link summoning, and I mean obviously Dingirs isn't a Xyz, but it's a link-based deck. So yeah, like I said, this is my favorite, and I love playing it. This is the deck that I play the most, absolutely all the time. I never get tired of playing it. I never get tired of, summoning Ding or IP, and just completely playing on my opponent's turn. And so this deck is super good. The last build that I had profiled was kind of a little bit of a casual build. This deck would be something that I'm planning on taking to my locals, which is supposed to start a week and a day from now, which would be next Saturday. Today's Friday for me. Like I said, this is what I'm going to be taking to that locals. So I kind of made this a little bit more competitive, put in a little more hand traps, or at least hand traps period, because my last build I was really only playing triple infinite and permanence, and that's, like I said, the deck that I play against my friends, which is a lot more casual. But this is the deck that I'm planning on taking to my locals, which is I'm sure going to be facing against Synchro Eldritch, Adamancipator, and all that good stuff that everyone just loves so much. So yeah, this is the deck build that I'm planning on taking, so I figured I'd show you guys, and I'm sure I'll do like a little tournament report too, as well when I get back, just to kind of give you guys the rundown. So for the best Orcust starter in the deck, we got Girsu. This is your Foolish Burial on normal or special summon. You just send an Orcust, send a World Legacy from your deck to the graveyard. If you control no other monsters, you get a tuner, so he's a really good starter for the deck. He's your one card IP Ding setup. So you won't play any less of this card. He let you cut down on a lot of the other Orcust monster names in the deck, so you had to play less bricks. And you'll see a little later, I ended up cutting the Warrior engine, the Dark Warrior engine with the Rhoda, Greffer, and Armageddon Knight, just because I kind of figured that you had enough starters in the deck. So, yeah. Triple Girsu, wouldn't play any less. And then for the next one, you play double Orcust Symbol Skeleton. Now, you don't want to play 3 of this card for sure. You don't need to. I definitely don't think that that's necessary at all. But you definitely want to play 2 because, unfortunately, with cards like Gizmek Orochi, if you banish one, you want to make sure that you have the other. And yes, there are times, just like with Pot of Desires in any deck, that you may accidentally banish both your Symbol Skeleton. But if you're a good player with this deck, you will know the when is an appropriate time to activate Gizmek Orochi. Now, you want to either have Symbol Skeleton on your field, graveyard, or your banish zone. You also want to have a Nightmare and a Wand as well before you activate Gizmek Orochi for the first or second time, because you want to make sure that you're not just like banishing your engine the way you play the deck. So yeah, you don't want to play 3. This is just your Monster Reborn. If you got Babel on the field, you just summon Ding on your opponent's turn, or this is your best graveyard extender for Orcust. So play 2 Symbol Skeleton, wouldn't play anymore. So then you play double Nightmare. This card's a brick. Unfortunately, I love the card. It's really good. It's your Foolish Burial for any Dark Machines, and it boosts the attack of a monster by the level of the machine that you send times 100. So if you're playing against a bad player, you can activate this during the damage step if you have a Babel on the field. And then you can boost the attack of something that they're trying to run over, and then they just kill their own monster. And like I said, it's not going to work against everybody, because if you're a good player, you'll know or read a card and take that into consideration. But I have played against a couple goofballs who, forgot about that. But yeah, this is just your Foolish Burial, locks you into darks, so all the Orcust lock you into darks. But I'm sure you guys know that by now. So then you play double Wand. I'll be 100% honest with you guys. I've seriously considered cutting this card down to 1. Because obviously you can send it and special the other one if you open it, and then you can banish it from the grave to special a banished Orcust. And you also need this for Lib. So that's kind of what's really stopping me from cutting this card down to 1. Because if you do banish it with Gizmek Orochi, it's the same concept with Symbol Skeleton. You just don't want to banish this and not have access to it for the grind game. Because this card is nuts in the grind game. It specials your DD Crowed monsters, or the monsters that you use to activate their effects, or if they call by the grave them, so it just brings them back. So like I said, this enables your lib too, excuse me. So yeah, you play double World Wand. And then you play basically an Orcust monster, Gizmek. I mean, it does suck to have to banish 8 off the top of your deck. I wish it was like 5 or 6 or something like that, but beggars can't be choosers. So, but yeah, this card's pretty good. Basically, mostly just use it as like a free body. 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be using its once per turn pop a monster effect. But yeah, just play Gizmek. Best Orcust monster. Just kidding. But yeah. And you play triple Magician Souls. I still haven't cut this yet. I don't plan on cutting it. To me, this is like the best extender you could possibly ask for in a deck like this, because if you open doubles of cards like Orchestrated Return, or if you have, Called by the Grave in your deck, and you read your opponent and they know that they don't have any hand traps that are worth Called by the Graving. I mean, if if they don't ash like certain things, they don't have Ash Blossom. If they don't ash like Scrap Recycler or like Scrap Wyvern, or if they don't ash like Girsu or anything like that, they just don't have ash. So this is good, being able to let you draw deeper into the deck. Once you get past a certain part in your combo, if you're like, okay, I got the Scrap Recycler shit off, I'm going to pitch 2 cards in my hand to draw 2 more cards to get to some hand traps or something. So, but 9 times out of 10, I'll be 100% honest with you guys. I actually kind of just summon this card. I don't necessarily even use its effect very much. But the reason I play this as an extender is because the brick you have to play with this is not a brick, at least in this deck. So, yeah. Triple Magician Souls. And then the girl, Apprentice Palooza Magician. This is not a brick. You open cards that are bricks in your hand, like Wand or Orcust Nightmare. You just use this to pitch them to the grave and special summon it. So like I said, it's not a brick. And plus, look at their artwork. Pretty fucking cool card, right? So yeah, Apprentice Palooza Magician. She's a dark also, so goes well with the deck. Then the very, very best card, unfortunately, I know, I love Girsu a lot, but this card is definitely 10 times better than Girsu. Hopefully they don't ever hit this card, because, this engine is, like, super unfair if you can resolve it to the fullest extent. But, obviously I'm going to play it, so. But basically, Scrap Recycler is nuts, because with full combo, you can end on a triple negate Palooza, double spin Lib and IP with a ding set up in your grave. And if you manage to have one more extender on the field, you can actually, instead of doing the double spin with IP, you can make the Verte Anaconda, and you can lock them out of special summoning period. So, not special summoning more than once with Winda. So yeah, triple Scrap Recycler. This card's insane because it's not once per turn, so not a hard once per turn. And the Refrigerator, you have to play this card. Not really much to say about it. It's just Monster Reborn for your scrap. It's your extender. You abuse the shit out of this card in the combo, so. And then the Jet Sync Run, it's Jet Sync Run. You're not playing Needle Fiber, but this is just the extender that I choose to play, that you can send off of Scrap Recycler, because you can pitch a card from your hand, so it sets your grave up as well. So yeah, you can play Ore Lion if you truly want to, but I like Jet Sync Run better. Now we get into the fun part of the deck, the hand traps. This is the unfortunate thing that you have to play in order to compete. I don't like playing hand traps at all. I just like playing decks pure, and playing them for how they're supposed to be played, and playing them the most consistent way that they're supposed to be played. But I understand that it's 2020 and you have to play cards to stop your opponent from getting full combo, because it's the same concept. Like in this deck, if you get full combo, you're going to win. If the Adamantipator gets full combo, they're going to win. If Eldritch gets full combo, they're probably going to win. So, you have to be able to stop them. Ash is really good against like every deck ever. No deck is safe from Ash. Every deck searches. Every deck, can send a card to the grave. Maybe not every deck specials from the deck, but this is just the most generic hand trap. Stops anything. Stops Needle Fiber. Stops Elixir from special summoning from the deck. Stops your Adamantipator matchup. Stops the Block Dragon and stuff like that, but they'll probably have a negate on board before they try to Block Dragon you. But yeah, this is the most generic. Hits everything, so, just play triple Ash. So that's 3. And for 4, 5, and 6, you got Ghost Mourner and Moonlit Chill. Now, I might get a little bit of hate in this for the comments, but bear with me here. I actually think that this card is 10 times better than Effect Veiler, because now hear me out here. This actually can prevent your opponent from special summoning. You ask yourself, how the hell did that happen? Well, not only does it stop the effects of a special summon monster on the field, but it burns your opponent for the attack. So, Really good for time, but not just that. In certain times of the game, your opponent may have, let's say, 2,000 life points, 2,500 life points, 3,000 life points, but 9 times out of 10 it's going to be like anything 2,000 or less, maybe even 1,500 or less. If they summon a monster on the field, even if the effect isn't what you're worried about, you can pitch this card, target it, negate its effects, and if it leaves the field, they're going to die. Because if they have 1,500 life points and it's got like 1,500 attack, they can't special summon anything. They can't use it for link material. You know, they could use it for Xyz material, I guess. Yeah, I mean, you know, whatever. But, you know, fusion material, anything. If it leaves the field, they're going to burn to death. This is really good for instance like that. So it'll completely stop them from using that monster as material for anything like that. So say they summon, whatchamacallit, you know, perfect example, they're you know, they summon like a assault core. If you're playing against like ABC, you know, and they're about to go into Buster, you just hit the assault core, and if it leaves the field, you know, you could burn them for a shit ton of life and maybe burn them for game. So, but this is really good for time too. That's why I put this in there over Effect Veiler. You can play Effect Veiler over this card if you want. I just have access to this card, so I choose to play it. Plus, I mean, look at the fucking artwork on this card. It's fucking sweet. So yeah, play triple of this. I like the double whammy that it's got as far as burning them as well as negating the effects. But like I said, Effect Veiler might be a little bit of a better option. This is just something I'm testing out. So then you got triple Nibiru. This is the best hand trap against combo. You know, if you hit this at the right time, you win the game. They're gonna pretty much be in a pretty bad position. Unfortunately, this card is a little lackluster, I'd say, against Emancipator, and I know because I play Emancipator, but they can play through this card easily, especially seeing as it's a rock. So, I mean, it's a little kind of, you know, against them. But if you hit them at the right moment, it's good. Unfortunately, if they have cards like Guardian on the field, you're going to need also like an Infinite Impermanence in your hand, or Effect Veiler, or this, to stop their Quacky Mirror Guardian or their Palooza or anything. So, but yeah. Triple Rock, it's the best hand trap. So that's 9 hand traps so far. Yeah, I know, pretty heavy, but... And then for the spells, play Babel. You know, really no self-explanatory. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory. Don't have to go too much into that. Play triple orchestrated return. Same thing here. This is your Destiny draw for Orcust. Not only does it Destiny draw, but it also sets your graveyard up. Opening this with Nightmare is really super good, but that's like the only instance you ever want to see Nightmare in your hand. But with this, you could pitch cards like Wand, Skeleton, doubles of Girsu or stuff like that. Or if you have Scrap Recycler in your hand, you pitch the Girsu and bait out like hand traps and stuff, and they go off with Scrap Recycler. So yeah, triple return. So as far as the draw power goes, that's basically it, minus the Magician Souls. I ended up cutting the Allure of Darkness as well as the Dark Warrior engine because and it really broke my heart too, because I really love Allure of Darkness. It's one of my favorite draw powers of all time. Yeah, you have to be able to stop your opponent, and unfortunately, if you're going second and they're Needle Fiber comboing you, Allure of Darkness ain't going to do too much in your hand. So now, since we want our normal summon to resolve, you have to play triple Call by the Grave. Still play 3 of this card. Would not play any less of this. Like I said, the deck is super reliant on your normal summon. If they stop your Scrap Recycler, if they stop your Girsu, your turn's over, unless you have you know, some form of extender in your hand like Magician Souls or something. So triple Call by the Grave, wouldn't play any less. Now let's get into the last 3 spells of the deck. Let's put all these down at once, I guess. Got your Foolish, your World Legacy Succession, and your Instant Fusion. Now, if you've seen my last deck profile, you know that I ended up also cutting Monster Reborn for the Instant Fusion, because I think that the window play is a little bit better than the Buster Lock, because the window just prevents you from special summoning more than once. So it doesn't matter if you can special summon from your extra deck, because you're only going to special summon one time. Also, it has a lot more protection than the Buster Lock, because Winda prevents you from from destroying her by card effects. Excuse me. That doesn't lose to cards like Cosmic Cyclone, and a lot of people are actually main decking Cosmic Cyclone right now. And Orcust doesn't put any gates on the field, so if they have a Cosmic Cyclone, they just 1-for-1 your Buster Lock. So this is Winda is a little bit better in my opinion than the Buster Lock. You can cut the Instant Fusion in your deck and put the Buster Lock in your deck, and then you'll have 1 extra space in your extra deck as well too. because you'll only have to play Union Carrier. But this is just how I choose to play the deck. I like Winda a little bit better than the Buster Lock. So, yeah. And the reason I like it, another reason why I like it better too, is because Instant Fusion can also act as an extender, whereas the Buster Lock is just a break if you draw it. So yeah, Instant Fusion is also just an extender. If you open like Symbol Skeleton, you can normal summon Symbol, special with Instant Fusion, go into Galatea. And then Foolish Burial, pretty self-explanatory. It's a graveyard deck. And World Legacy Succession is a searchable Monster Reborn. That's another reason why I cut Monster Reborn, just because, you know, you have a searchable one. So yeah, and that's it for the spells. Now onto the traps. Very last hand trap, the real hand trap that you can play. This would be my 12th hand trap in the entire deck. Just triple infinite impermanence. This is your, you know, 4th, 5th, and 6th versions of Effect Veiler or Ghost Mourner, whatever way you want to look at it. But it also doubles as, like I said, an actual trap. And if you're playing against somebody who's not paying attention, you can actually also negate spells and traps. You know, I mean, if they have a monster on the field and they activate a spell in the same column as this, you just chain it, target their monster, negate the spell. So, yeah, triple infinite impermanence. And last but not least, you play Orchestrated Crescendo. I've super debated on cutting this card a bunch, but when you can get this on the field, like if you open Babel, this is perfect. This is so good to be able to set off Galatea. So yeah, you want to set this, and plus you could pitch this with cards like Magician Souls, and then you can get a search, you know, like the next turn, because you can't use it the same turn you activate the effect to search because you're locked into Dark Machines. But yeah, so that's it for the main deck. 42 cards. I know I really don't like playing more than 40 cards, but to be 100% honest with you, I think that at 42 is the right number because of cards like Gizmek Orochi. It actually gives you less of a chance of banishing the things that you don't want to banish. So yeah. And then next, play Double Ding Girsu. Don't need to play any more of this card. You know, this is the boy. This is the guy that makes the deck so good. You know, can't explain how good this card is. I mean, protects you from destruction, sends, recycles everything, easy to summon. You know, one of the best boss monsters of all time. And then the best girl, Galatea. You know, deck wouldn't run as well without her either. So she gets your Babel, she gets your Crescendo, she gets your returns, she puts your shit back. You know, she's a Link 2, helps you go into your bigger guys, your Link 4s and stuff. It kind of gets 2 materials. Super easy to summon. Just remember that you need effect monsters to summon her, so you can't just use the token with Girsu, but that's not really too big of a deal. And then Long. I love this card too. I mean, I've seen a couple people not play this card anymore, but I use this card a lot. I mean, I've outed plenty of things with this, so I mean, I still can't justify cutting this card, so yeah, Long Girsu. And then for the bigs, you play 1 Palooza, 1 Boral Sword. These are staple generics in any deck, more or less. I mean, maybe not Palooza so much anymore, or Boral Sword, but I think that they're generics. I mean, Boral Sword is still better when it comes to finishing off a game than Access Code Talker. And then Palooza is for the scrap combo. You could just make her like super easy. So yeah, at least in this deck, I think that they're stable. So maybe I'm just talking out of my ass. Who knows? And then for the last 2 big ones, we got Topologic Zero Boros and Access Code Talker. Now you might think this is a lot of Link 4s, but you can Link climb in this deck like super easy. So it's not really a big deal. Props to the guy who told me to play Zero Boros. You're actually right, my guy. This is actually a fucking insane card in this deck. So yeah, thanks for letting me know that you should definitely play this card because it's come up on plenty of duels where I've IP'd them into this and then summon Gizmek or summon Ding. Ding effect to attach, put the Symbol Skeleton back in grave, banish the entire fucking field. So yeah, thanks for that, my guy. I don't remember your name, I'm sorry, but hopefully you'll watch this, comment down below. And then Access Code Talker. Yeah, I mean, it's Access Code Talker, so. Then you just play the Unicorn, you know. It's dark, it spins shit. There you go. And then for your Link 2s, you play IP Masquerena, the Verte Anaconda. This is for summoning Winda. And IP is IP, so not much to say there. And then the ones that go hand in hand, you got your Scrap Wyvern and your Lib. Scrap Wyvern is like the needle fiber of this deck. Like if you get this combo, you definitely win. And Lib is just super good for setting Monster Reborn and extending more. But make sure you have a World Legacy before you summon her in your grave. So, and then you just play the window. You know, you have to play this card because of instant fusion, obviously, and because of Verte Anaconda. She protected from card effects, stopped your opponent from special summoning more than once. So yeah, I like this better, like I said a million times before, better than the Buster Lock. So that's it for the main. I guess I'll kind of show you guys my side deck, what I'm at least planning on playing there. So for the first card, just play the one red reboot. I like this card still. I mean, if you open it against trap decks, it's fucking curtains for them. You just OTK them with Boral Sword. So yeah, or you just use your access code talker and pop, you know, the other cards that they have set. So yeah, red reboot might be at 1, but if you open it, it's like the god card against any trap deck. So, and then also against like Eldritch or any, you know, back row deck, Paleozoic, whatever. Triple Cosmic. Cosmic's better than Twin Twisters, hands down. In most formats, this card is better than Twin Twisters. And also, if you play against like certain matchups like Pendulum, or play against, I mean, God forbid, like True Draco or something like that, if people still play that deck without any good cards in it. Yeah, this is really good against those. Pendulum, you can hit like their scales, and instead of destroying them, they'll just get banished completely. So yeah, triple Cosmic. You also play triple Dark Ruler No More. This card just shits on big boards, so it says no to them. And then you just make your shit, ding, send them, lib, send them, you know, I mean, shuffle the entire field back into the deck. So, yeah, Dark Ruler No More, definitely 3 of. Unfortunately, I do not have access to cards like Lightning Storm and Evenly Matched. If you do have access to those cards, I will show you what you can cut in the extra deck to side those in, or the side deck. So, and then for the monsters in the side, put the triple effect Veiler in there. Like I said, this is still just like one of the most generic hand traps too. And it's your one that's not exactly a once per turn. So yeah, if you have multiple, you could use multiple, but I don't really want to open too many hand traps, so that's why I ended up putting this in the side deck. I mean, I'd at least like to maybe open 2. I think that'd snap them up, but I don't want to see like 3 to 4 hand traps in my deck, so, or in my hand. So yeah, triple effect Veiler. Now I might end up cutting the Ghost Mourner, putting her in the side and putting the effect Veiler in the main. But like I said, I do like the little interaction where it burns them, so. And this is what I would cut if I had Evenly and Lightning Storm. So I would end up cutting DD Crows out for the triple Evenly Matched. But DD Crow is still pretty good too. Yeah, I definitely cut these for Evenly Matched. They both banish cards but Evenly Matched is just way better. So yeah, DD Crow. If you have Evenly Matched, I would play triple Evenly Matched over the DD Crow. And then I put 2 Ghost Ogre in as my 14th and 15th in the side deck. So yeah, these would be double Lightning Storm for me if I had them. I'm not paying, you know, like fucking $400 for, you know, almost a play set of Lightning Storms. No thanks. I'll wait till the card gets reprinted. I'm a little cheap when it comes to, you know, certain things like that. But yeah, so, you know, like I said, if you have Lightning Storms, all the power to you. Play double Lightning Storm over, or you could even cut the red reboot and play triple Lightning Storm. But yeah, this is just what I have access to, and that's what I choose to play. So, but that is it for the deck profile, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and comment down below, give a like and a subscribe too. Let me know how you guys like this over my other build. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Girsu out.